Today we're going to overview exactly how to use the blood spatter apparatus for setting up your blood spatter. This is going to allow you to make different angles of impact, and it's going to do that because you can actually set it up at different angles. For instance, this is a 50-degree angle. So using the scale here on the side, you can actually compute and establish different angles. For instance, this is 40 degrees, whereas this is a 60-degree angle, whereas this is an 80-degree angle. And from there, you can actually set up your paper so that you're dropping your blood at the correct angle. The key to working with your apparatus, which should come tightened so that it doesn't open, is that you need to open the edges here. Now we have these two little knobs and they turn counter to each other. You want to go ahead and loosen them up, and then you want to check your apparatus to see if it floats or opens gently. If it doesn't, if for instance it's still tight or it's giving you some sort of resistance, you're going to want to go ahead and go back and check these apparatus. If it's binding down in this area, it means that something's happened down in these joints. And before you pull it too hard, stop, talk to your TA, and make sure that they've checked it over, that it's a good working order apparatus before you move forward. If you break it, you're going to buy it. As I said, you're going to want to go ahead and turn these counter to each other. So in this one, you're turning it in this direction, and in this one here, you're turning it in this direction. So loosen those up, not so much they fall off. Turn to the side, set the angle that you desire. In this case, 50 degrees. Go ahead and tighten one side. Turn your apparatus around, and you'll notice that it's not quite set at 50 degrees. Go ahead and set it correctly, and then tighten it down. You now have your apparatus set up correctly so that you can drop blood. What you're going to do is pull these back on both sides so that the binder clips can be used to install your pieces of paper. Make sure that your paper is set equal to the top up here so that it's truly parallel. The other tool you're going to want to use today is your tape measure. Your tape measure is really important, and you're going to want to set it at approximately just past 1 foot. And by pushing down this, you'll hold it in place. This allows you to basically set a height, and from this, you can take your pipette and drop your drop of blood. Always drop your drops of blood 1 foot off of your card. You'll notice that you've gone ahead and dropped 3 drops of blood like so. These are at 50 degrees. You're going to want to go ahead and label what angle they were dropped at and the height, which will be 1 foot. And then you're going to want to watch, and you can see that here is your leading edge and here is your lagging edge. Now on this paper, this blood actually soaks in quite heavily. On the paper you're using, which actually has a smooth surface that's a little glossy, it's going to take a lot longer to dry. But if you can see here, this droplet has proceeded down the length of the paper and is still quite heavy and wet here, as you can tell. You're going to want to wait for that to dry. And so this is going to need to sit for at least 10 to 15 minutes until it dries completely. And then you'll be able to use and work with this photo and package it correctly. When you're done, you're going to want to go ahead and remove the paper from your binder clips. Like so. This is going to then sit and dry. And because you're finished with this apparatus, you're going to want to put it back in the condition that you found it. You're going to want to go ahead and loosen these up again. Again, don't force it. And you're going to want to lay it down and then tighten them back up. If your apparatus came in its box, you're going to then want to go ahead and place it back in the box. So it can be stored away for the next time it needs to be used. And that's how you properly take care of the blood spatter apparatus.